Ariel Helwani in Vancouver, just days away from UFC 131 alongside UFC President Dana White. And Dana, we've done this enough times, you know, every time we start, I like to talk about the event. But there's so much news that has happened over the last 10 days. If you don't mind, we'd like to just touch on a few things that are non-UFC 131 related, and we'll go backwards. Okay. You told us Diaz GSP. We're crazy for asking about this fight, a lot of hurdles, things like that. 2 days later, you go on Twitter and you announce that it's actually happening in October. How did you actually get the deal done?
Good question. Listen, I always say this. Whatever the fight the fans want to see, it's my job to give it to them. And as we got out there and saw that that was what the fans wanted, we talked to Showtime, and Showtime's been great with us. You know, we've had this great work. I know it's weird hearing me say good things about Showtime, but we've had a great working relationship with them since we bought Strikeforce. So we made it happen.
So is Diaz done with Strikeforce now? Is he officially a UFC only fighter?
He's in the UFC. Yes, he has a UFC contract. He's a UFC fighter. He's going to vacate his title in Strikeforce. 2 other guys will fight for that title. He will come to the UFC and fight GSP, and we'll see what happens from there. But I'm not saying that he couldn't still fight in Strikeforce.
Do you know who the 2 guys who will be fighting for that title will be?
Don't know yet.
You just made a couple of huge announcements here that all main events signed from this point forward will be 5-round fights. Yeah. Now, is this something that you have to talk to all the commissions so that they're on board with it, or how does that work? Or if the UFC says we want this to be a 5-round non-title fight, that's fine?
Yeah, absolutely, we can do it. What I want to do and what I make sure we do and why it's from this day forward is I want the fighters to have notice. When they sign their bout agreement, they know they're fighting a 5-round non-title fight because it's a main event.
Why did you decide to do this?
Because it makes sense. There's been, again, the fans have been screaming for it, and me being a fan myself, I agree 100%. How many times have there been 2 guys fighting in a main event that was main event worthy that you're like, damn, I wish this was 5 rounds, and they should be.
One of those could have been the Clay Guida-Anthony Pettis fight. Clay Guida received a lot of heat online from fans. Some thought that his game plan was not all that exciting. He went the easy route. Others thought it was brilliant. What do you think of it?
I think it's going to happen. If you're Anthony Pettis, and you're one of the best in the world, defend that takedown, get up from the bottom. You know, you have to be able to do everything. And if you can't, then guys like Guida or some of these other guys that are really good wrestlers are going to take you down and take that top position.
There was some unfortunate news that was announced a couple of days ago. Gina Carano had to pull out of her bout, but it's some sort of mystery as to why. Any idea as to why?
I don't know why. I have no clue. If I did, I'd tell you.
Do you know if it's career threatening? Some have said it's very serious.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Medical condition. She wasn't cleared, but no one really knows why.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm going to find out now.
All right. There are fans, and they ask me this every day, and I'm sure they ask you this as well. The fans in the UK are pretty upset. They've heard through reports that you're not coming back to the UK, and they feel as though that they're almost being slighted here. What's your beef with the UK is what they're saying. Why aren't you going back?
We have no beef with the UK. We've had incredible events back there. The market has grown huge. Ireland too. I'm hearing it from Ireland. I'm hearing it from Germany. I'm hearing it from Australia. We were just in Australia. You know, I'm hearing it from different states here in the United States. I'm hearing it from Edmonton. You know, we're trying to go everywhere. We're doing the best we can.
Okay. Now let's talk about this event. And I know you answered some of these questions at the press conference. A lot of people asking, you know, why isn't there buzz? The ticket sales. A lot of negative stories out in the press. Is this being made of too much of a big deal in the sense that, like, did one person grab onto something and just run with it? Are ticket sales not that bad in your opinion?
They're not bad at all. And it's crazy. When the one guy started asking me earlier, I was like, what the hell is this guy talking about? The first time we came in here, sold out like that. It was in, you know, that's what happens. I can tell you this, when we go back to Toronto, I don't plan to sell 56,000 tickets next time we go to Toronto. First of all, the economy. It's our second time here, not our first time here. The playoffs are here. I mean, there's a lot of different things that factor in on. But ticket sales have been fantastic. You watch what happens, how many sell leading up and the night of the event, and I'll come up here, I'll be standing on this stage, and I will say on Saturday, a very impressive gate.
I think off the top of my head, there was like 17 or so thousand that attended 115. How many do you expect on Saturday night?
I honestly, right now, off the top of my head, could not tell you.
Kenny Florian making his...
That's how concerned with ticket sales I am, that I actually can't even tell you.
Kenny Florian making his featherweight debut. Do you feel as though this is a business decision on his part? He looks at the featherweight division. He says, you know what, there aren't that many guys right now. It's not as developed as lightweight, so I'm going to go down, even though he didn't really have to go down to 145.
I don't know. That's a good question. Only Kenny could answer that question. I think that he's a guy that likes to challenge himself. He feels he could make 145 pounds, and maybe he feels he could hold a world title there.
And what about Carwin and Junior Dos Santos? Obviously, the winner, and that has to excite you. As a fight fan, two heavyweights like that fighting in the main event, that has to get your blood boiling, right?
I love this fight so much. I love this fight. I think this fight is one of the best heavyweight fights we've had in a long time. I'm really pumped up about it. Stylistically, if you look at how these two match up, they both bang. They knock out with either hand. Junior Dos Santos has great takedown defense. Carwin's a great wrestler. If it goes to the ground, Dos Santos has good submission skills. I mean, this is a fun heavyweight fight.
Is there any other fight on the card that really intrigues you or excites you?
Yeah, I love the Yves Edwards Sam Stout fight, and obviously I really like the co-main event too. I'm interested to see what Kenny can do at 45.
And any fans heckling you, Boston? But we talked about this after. What's the reception been like?
If you say the B word around here, you get booed. But everybody's cool in Canada. I don't mess with their hockey. I know what their hockey means to them here, and this country's been so good to us. And the guy was saying, it must be weird playing second fiddle. He said, playing second fiddle. I was like, dude, you don't know what we've been through the last 10 years. Second fiddle. It's to be in Canada and be considered second fiddle when we're in Vancouver and these guys are playing for the trophy. Believe me, love it, man. And I wouldn't. Guys were asking too. Would you, if you could go back, would you change the date? Would you not come this close? No, we knew this was happening. We knew it was this close to the playoff. We love it. Friday night's going to be crazy. These people are going to be going nuts, and Saturday's going to be the same thing. It's a great sports weekend for Vancouver.
Do you have the testicular fortitude to go there on Friday night, Game 5 in Vancouver?
I've been invited to the game. I haven't decided if I'm going to go yet, and it has nothing to do with, being from Boston.
Right. By the way, I wanted you to say when you were excited about the fight, "Here we go," like in the commercial. That is some acting right there.
Oh, I'll give you some.
Here we go. I loved it. It was great.
You want to know something?
Yes.
That wasn't my line.
You ad-libbed that. You're such a good actor.
That was Bone Jones' line.
Oh.
He couldn't do it.
He flubbed it.
He couldn't do it.
Why?
I was supposed to say, my line was, Bud Light is a sure sign of fight night. That was my line.
Right.
His was, here we go. He couldn't do it.
Why?
He couldn't do it.
It's too tough.
He mentally broke down and could not do it.
What do you think of your performance, though? Have you watched it?
I had to jump in and do his lines for him.
Save the day.
I did. I had to save the day.
Did you enjoy the experience? I know you're big on acting.
Oh, I love acting. It's my passion. I'm really good at it. God bless me with the ability to act.
Right.
I hate it so bad.
Have you seen the finished product?
Actually, I had a diva meltdown moment yesterday on The Ultimate Fighter. I was the most contrived part of The Ultimate Fighter is when you go in there. When I say welcome to the UFC training center, this is what the second part is team picks.
Right.
All right, guys, here's a coin. We're going to flip the coin. We're going to do this and that. And I have to explain the rules to the coaches and how this thing's going to go down. So yesterday we're doing it, and one of the producers, I had it all in my head what I was going to say. One of the producers stepped in and said, "Oh, you forgot." And I flipped out. It's like the see with Christian Bale, with Christian Bale on TV.
Bill O'Reilly too.
I get it. I threw the cue card. I started swearing and freaked out.
At him?
Yeah, I snapped. I had a diva moment. They had to give me a Snicker bar. I apologized after, but I hate acting. And if I have to do something over again, I feel like I'm acting. Especially, that's the thing that I love about the reality show. We just walk in that room. After you get all the setup, the rules and the this and that are all set up, it's real. It's just whatever happens, happens. So, yeah, I don't want to act. I am not an actor, and I have a lot of respect for the people who do it because it's very hard to do.
Did anyone record this, though? Because this has to make its way on YouTube. The Dana flip out, like Christian Bale?
It's absolutely 100% on film, yeah, but it'll never see the light of day.
All right. Well, we'll see the light of day, though, is UFC 131. That goes down this Saturday night live from Rogers Arena here in Vancouver, BC. Junior Dos Santos going up against Shane Carwin, a very big and important heavyweight fight. Thanks for the time, and welcome to Vancouver.
Thank you.